and worked for clients like Barclays and S-Bank. He has IT and training experience of about 10 years and is a corporate trainer for machine learning, blockchain, data science, and big data analytics. He has successfully trained more than 300 participants for global certification in data science and big data analytics by Dell EMC. He has good practice hands-on skill including tools, technologies like Unix, Tableau licensed, Power BI, Hadoop, HBase, Hive, Pig, SQL, R and R Studio, and Python. We have already had a wonderful hands-on session last week, and we look forward for another wonderful session now. Now I request Muramkar sir to please begin with the session.
Thank you, Devish, for the nice introduction. So, as Madam has already told all of you that you should have your virtual machine ready. So you can see on my desktop. In my case, I am ready with this virtual machine. So one more thing, what I need from you people is I need that particular document to be with everyone. This document which I have already shared with all of you. See the document with this name MIT underscore Yogesh underscore Murumkar.pdf. This PDF I want everyone to be with you. So because see it's going to save our time as we already have a very less time. That's why what I will do is what I have done is every command whatever we are going to execute that is actually here in this document, right? So it's going to save the time which we require for typing. So what I want is I want everyone to have this particular document with all of you, right? So you should start with your virtual machine as well as you should have this document. So these two things I need from all of you. I hope everyone is having this particular document, this particular PDF. Okay. Now our target is to understand how Hadoop, HBase, Hive, how they work when they integrate together. Okay. Let me just say. So our objective is to understand how they work when they are integrated together. So let me just give you a brief idea how are we going to proceed. So in the virtual machine which you already have, which is already running on your machine, right? So in that virtual machine you already have Hadoop installed, you have Hive installed, and HBase is already there, right? So these three tools are already there. Okay, whatever the virtual machine I have provided, these three tools are already there. What's our task is? Our task is to understand how analytics can be done with the help of these things. So see, what am I expecting from you people? I'm expecting that you people are having a basic idea now about Hadoop, right? How to run simple commands on Hadoop. You have a basic idea about simple Linux commands like cd, ls, and all those things. Simple Unix or Linux commands. And then you have knowledge about Hive. You might have heard about Hive and HBase, at least theory part. Okay. After that, you must be having a knowledge about SQL because I heard that you people have already worked with the MongoDB kind of a database. So you know what is key value database and all those things, right? So you should have knowledge of SQL also. So how SQL queries can be done. For example, how to run a select statement and all those things, right? Because as we are going to do analytics, so we are going to need this particular knowledge, how to join table, how to query the data, right? So this is what I am expecting. At least a basic knowledge of all these things you should have to proceed further. Okay. Now, what are we going to do here? So see, what we will do is we will try to create some tables on HBase. Okay, and then we will try to create some tables on Hive also. And what we will do is we will try to access the data from the HBase table with the help of Hive and vice versa, right? And in between there is going to be Hadoop. This is the situation you have on this virtual machine because whatever is going to be stored, it is going to be stored on HDFS, and HDFS is actually a part of Hadoop. I hope you know that, right? This is what we are going to do. So we are actually going to make use of integration integration of all these things which is already integrated, right? Now if you people want to know how to integrate HBase, Hadoop, and Hive, so you can refer my videos on my YouTube channel. You just search Yogesh Murumkar and HBase, Hadoop, and Hive, you will get to know how I have integrated all these things together. Because if you want to discuss that, it is going to require more time. That's why that's not our objective to discuss here. We are not going to discuss how we integrated it. We are going to discuss how are we going to do analysis with the help of HBase, Hadoop, and Hive. So basically, in this document, I have given you this particular problem statement. So you need to write down an application using HBase and Hive query language. Hive query language is exactly similar to SQL, which you can learn, which you can run on top of Hadoop. Okay, so we need to write an application with the help of HBase and Hive for some table for flight information system. Okay, which will include, so we will see how to create, drop, and alter database tables in HBase and Hive. We will see how to create an external Hive table. What is external table? We will talk about that. There are two types of tables which you can create. One is called as external table and one is called as managed table. So we will see that how to create that. So we are going to create external tables and managed tables in Hive. Then we are going to load the data from the text file in these tables, and then we are going to join them. And finally, we will see how to create index on a flight table. And finally, we will try to analyze the data by calculating the average departure delay or sum of the delay and all those things, right? So we will try to do some hands-on things to solve this kind of a problem set. Okay. Now see, it might be possible that when I will do the hands-on thing, it might there might be a delay in your case. So what I will do is I will try to show you each and everything. As I told you that this document contains everything, so it actually saves your time of typing. So that's why this document is a must. Everyone should have this particular document. Okay, now to proceed. I hope I am audible to everyone, right? So, and in between, if anyone is having any doubt, you can just text in the chat box. Okay, so that particular thing you can do because you cannot unmute yourself. So without any further delay, as we already have only 1 hour, so I will try to complete. See, I will try to complete each and everything. By chance, if I am not able to do, I will tell you what to do. Okay, because there is some restriction of time we have. So what am I going to do is, first of all, I am going to start Hadoop. Okay, so PWD. So you can also follow me. You people can also follow me. I am expecting that you people already have this particular virtual machine with you, right? So you people also can follow me. By chance, if someone is not having this virtual machine, later on you can refer all these documents. Whatever I am telling you, at least you can listen, and later on, whenever you have time, you can follow it. You can follow all these instructions. Whatever I am trying to show you here. Okay. So PWD is the command which is going to show you what is your working directory. So my working directory is this one. Now, if you remember, last time I told you that Hadoop is actually installed in downloads folder, right? So what I will do, I will go to downloads folder, cd space downloads. Here, if I type ls, you will be able to see a folder called as Hadoop 3.0.0. So we have a latest version of Hadoop here, that is Hadoop 3. After this, what you need to do is go inside Hadoop folder. So I will type cd space Hadoop, that particular folder name. This is a folder. Okay, so I am just going inside that folder. Press enter. Once I am here, just ls, you will see a lot of folders. Out of that, there will be one folder called as bin. What am I doing? I am just trying to start Hadoop here. Okay, so let me just clear everything so that you will be able to see whatever I am typing. Okay, so I will type ls. So here you will be able to see a bin folder. I will go inside the bin folder. So cd space bin, and from here I will type the command start dash all.sh. So this is the command to start all the nodes on the Hadoop. You might be knowing, right? When we will say that Hadoop is started, when data node, name node, secondary name node, node manager, and resource manager are started, then we can say that Hadoop has started. So see, how to check whether Hadoop is started or not? So if I type JPS, that is Java Process Status, it should show me all the 5 nodes. But now if I type JPS, it is not going to show me all the 5 nodes. Because Hadoop is not started, you can check it. See, it is not showing me all those nodes, name node, data node, node manager, right? So for that, first of all, I need to fire this command, start dash all.sh. Okay, and then press enter. Now it is starting Hadoop. So we will have to wait for 1 minute, and you will see that after this one, if I type JPS command, you will see that all the nodes are started. So it is starting all the nodes one by one. Somewhere you will see that it has started data node. So you can check it. Here it has started data node, this one, right? Similarly, it will start name node. It has started name node also. And similarly, it will start all the remaining nodes. After this, once this is done, what I will do? I will just type JPS command and then check whether all the nodes are started or not. So you people also can follow. And don't forget, those people who have joined late, you should have a document. You should have this particular document. So what I will do? Okay, so all the nodes are started now. Now let me go and try to check. So first of all, let me clear everything and let me check with JPS command whether I am able to see all the nodes are. Now see, I am able to see all the nodes. That means Hadoop is successfully running. Okay. Now what we want to do? As our topic is HBase Hive Hadoop, so what I will do is next I will try to start Hive or HBase. Okay. Now Hive and HBase is also there in downloads folder. So what you need to do is you need to go to a folder called as Apache Hive. This is the folder where all the files related to Hive are stored. So what I will do, I will just go to see those people who have joined just now. We are going to solve this problem statement. This particular document is already with you people. Okay. And see, this is very important. Those people who will do all these hands-on things, definitely they only understand what is HBase, what is Hive, and what is Hadoop. And you will be able to make use of all these things in projects also. And these hands-on are very important, believe me. Okay. Generally, we people just try to ignore all these things, but do not ignore it. These are very important. Even though you get errors, try to do it. And if you get any error later on, also you can ask me anytime. Okay. So what I will do next? I started Hadoop. Now I am going to start HBase. So to start HBase, I should go to downloads folder. So for that, I should go one step back, one more step back because I want to go inside downloads folder. Now here I am in downloads folder. I will do cd Apache Hive. So this is the folder. See, Apache Hive folder is also in downloads folder. Everything is in downloads folder only on your virtual machine. Okay. So I am right now trying to go inside this folder with the help of cd command. So yes, I am there. Now next command is if you ls, you will see some files in this folder. One of the files and one of the folders is bin. What I will do is I will go inside bin folder. So bin folder of Apache. Okay, Apache Hive. Here if you ls, now here you will see a shell script called as Hive. So if you want to start Hive, what you need to do is just dot means current directory, /space Hive, and then press enter. That's it. This is the command to start Hive. So it's going to start Hive now. Again, you will have to wait for 1 minute, and then it is going to start Hive. So what I have done, I have just typed /Hive. Okay. Now it is starting Hive also. So wait for 1 minute, and then you will see Hive started. So I will show you how to check whether Hive is started or not. So if you are able to see this command prompt, see, I will just try to highlight it here. It is going to take you onto this particular command prompt. See this one. Now I am on this particular thing. I am on this prompt. It is going to prompt Hive. That means Hive is successfully started. That means what? That means I can run queries like SQL, which is called as HiveQL. So if someone wants to extract the data from Hadoop with the help of SQL-like queries, you can make use of HiveQL, which is called as Hive query language, which is exactly similar to SQL. That's why I told you that you should have a knowledge of basic SQL. Okay. So here we started with Hive. Now next thing, let me show you some basic commands on Hive, which are again given in your document. So if you open this PDF, you will see that all the steps are given. Whatever I am doing, everything is given here. Okay. Now suppose if you want to see which are the databases which are already created in Hive, I want to see that. So what you can do is you can go to terminal and type onto Hive you can type show databases. This is the command you might have used in SQL also. So I will just type show databases. You can, if those people who are connected to Hive, they can also fire this command, and you will see some databases which are already there. So in my case, you can see it is saying okay. Right. Once I run this command, always remember there should be semicolon at the end. Exactly same syntax which we follow for SQL. So you can see it is saying okay, and all these are the default. All these are the databases, and default database is this is actually a default database which is already going to be there. And these are the databases which I created when I tried to run some programs. For example, Yogesh is the database. So all these databases you are able to see with the help of show databases command in case of Hive. Okay, so that's a simple command. Okay. Okay, those people who are trying to write down, now you will not be able to write down anything. Okay, and let me people, let me just tell you that it requires patience. Okay, those people who are trying to disturb, don't do it. I am the only person who is going to write down on the screen. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the chat box. Okay. So show database command we have run. Now another command we will try to run on Hive. So how to create a database? So this is the command. Create database. Database name is the command to create the database onto Hive. Okay, so I will again go to terminal and I will run that command. So create database, and whatever database you want. Suppose I want to give a database name as WPU. Suppose WPU is a database and semicolon. Create database name and enter. And if I want to see that whether it is created or not, so type show databases and semicolon and enter, and you will be able to see the name of the database WPU. See? So this is how you can create a database. And if I want to use that, just go here and type use and name of the database. Exactly similar to what we do in MySQL database, right? So it is saying okay, right? And this particular command is successfully run. So this is a simple command. These are the simple commands which we can run on Hive. But what's our target? Our target is to solve these problem statements. Our target is to solve this problem statement and understand how HBase and Hive and Hadoop integrate together, how they work. Right? That's what I told you. You people might need to spend some time after the session also if you really want to understand what are all these things. Many times it happens that using theory we do not understand anything unless and until we see the practicals. That's why these hands-on practicals are very, very important. Okay. So with the help of this example only, I'm just trying to tell you how they work. We will try to solve all these problems. Okay, so I am going stepwise. Now I started Hadoop, I started Hive. Now what I will do is I will try to start HBase. Okay, HBase is a column-oriented database. It's a columnar database. It stores the data in column-oriented fashion. So I am going to start it. How? So for that, what you need to do is you need to open new terminal. How you can open new terminal? First of all, you need to come to the terminal and press Ctrl Shift N. Once you press Ctrl Shift N, you are going to see new terminal. So in my case, I am able to see new terminal. Or otherwise, click on this terminal and you can just click on new terminal. That's also possible. Otherwise, press Ctrl Shift N. Okay. Now, what I want to do, I want to start HBase. So for that, I should go to downloads folder. So I will go to step back. Now I am in downloads folder. Okay. Now from this downloads folder, I know that there is a folder called as HBase, HBase-1.2.6. So I will go inside that folder. Inside that there is a bin folder of HBase. Exactly same way whatever we were doing for Hadoop and Hive. Same thing I am doing for HBase also. See, this terminal is different. Okay, try to understand. Hive terminal is different and HBase terminal which I am trying to start here, it is different. So once I am in this HBase folder and I went in bin folder. Now I need to start some shell script. I need to run some shell script which is called as start-hbase.sh. So where are you going to find it out? In bin folder itself. So if you go here and try to see, there is a shell script which is called as start-hbase.sh. So you just need to run it. How? /start-hbase.sh and enter. Now it is going to start HBase. It's going to start HBase, but not the HBase shell. How to start the HBase shell, that I will tell you. Okay, HBase, what is it? It's a column oriented database. Okay, how to start HBase shell? For that, you need to run this particular command, /HBase and space shell. So what I will do is, I will try to type /HBase space shell and enter. Now it is going to take us to the HBase prompt. The way it has taken us to the Hive prompt. Okay, so we will have to wait for some time, and then it's going to take us to HBase prompt. So till now we are just we just tried to start Hadoop, HBase and Hive. So it should take us to HBase prompt, and it should we should be able to run the commands on the HBase prompt. So yeah, it is working now. See, you should be able to see something like that. Means now you are on the HBase prompt. So let me show you what we have now. We have Hadoop started, right? We have these two terminals open. One of the terminals is showing me as HBase is running, okay, and another terminal is there. So I will just try to drag it here. Okay, so we have two terminals open. In one terminal we have HBase. Here HBase started, and in another terminal you have Hive. So Hive is also running and HBase is also running. So both of them, they are actually running. Okay, all three of them. So HBase, Hive and Hadoop. So this particular terminal, this one is for Hive, and this particular terminal is for HBase. So both of them, they are running. I will just try to maximize it. Now, what are we going to do? So what I will do now is, I will try to show you basic commands on HBase. How to create a table, and how to store the data, how to drop it, and so we need to create some sample data here. So again, that is also given in the PDF. So as I told you that I am not going to type all these things because otherwise it's going to take a lot of time. So I will directly go and refer the PDF and try to show you all those commands. So here, this is the PDF. Now here we are going to create the HBase tables. So creating, dropping and altering database tables using HBase. First part we are going to understand how to create a table, because without data we cannot do any analysis. That's why for storing data you should have knowledge about creating, dropping and altering database tables using HBase. So what is HBase? I told you, HBase is a column oriented database. So to create a table in HBase, this is the command. So sorry. Create database name, comma, column family. This is called as column family. What is column family? Column family is like, suppose if you have one column, in one column you can have multiple values. As I told you that HBase is a column oriented database. So it stores data in the column oriented fashion, because there is an advantage. Sometimes it happens that depending on the structure of the data, sometimes it happens that you need to store or search the data in column oriented fashion because you need speed. So remember, this is the syntax of the command to create table with the help of HBase. So which table we are going to create? We are going to create flight table. Okay, so what I will do is, I will try to copy this particular command, create table name and column family. Okay, that's why I told you that I am hoping that we have basic knowledge about HBase. Okay, see, now I will go to HBase here, and I will just try to write down that particular command here. So now create table. So the table name is flight. So instead of this, as flight table is already created in my case, what I will do is flight underscore WPU. I will write down. Okay. So create this particular table name with these column families. So what is this? What is this? This is flight information and this is flight schedule. And flight underscore WPU is nothing but the name of the table which we want to create. Okay. So here I'm just going to press enter. So it's going to create flight underscore WPU table. with these column families, flight information and flight schedule. That is the first one. Okay, so it should show you this kind of output. I have in the PDF, I already shown you the output also. Now I want to check whether the table is created or not. So for that, there is a command called as list. It's exactly similar to select star from that particular database. If you want to see all the tables, so show tables, it's exactly similar to show tables command. So if I type list, I should be able to see the table which I have created just now. That is flight underscore W. So list and press enter. Now see, you are able to see a table named as flight underscore WPU. So which command we have fired? We fired list command. So with the help of list command, we are able to see the table name which we have created. Okay. See, this is a H-based database. Okay, I am again repeating, H-based is a column-oriented database. It stores the data in column-oriented fashion. It's a columnar database. Remember that. So we created a table called as flight underscore WP. Next, now what we will do, we will try to insert sample data in that table. I am going to insert 4 records. But inserting 4 records means I need to insert 16 values in that table. So I need to fire this command. Put table name and whatever the values you want, those values. So as you people are aware about MongoDB database, you might be knowing about key and value pair, right? So something similar to that we are actually doing here. So see, what am I going to do is put in which table I want to put? I want to put into flight underscore WPU table with row number as 1, and this flight information is nothing but what? It's a column family. So here flight information is going to be column family, and this source is going to be, I hope you people are able to see, this source is going to be key and Pune is the source. Pune is the value of that. Okay, exactly similar to key and value pair which you might have come across in MongoDB database. So this source is a key and this Pune is the value of that key, that is source. So it's a flight data, right? So we are just trying to add source and destination. So I will just press enter here, and that particular data should be added. Okay, so the column family flight information with key as source and value as Pune is added. Now I am going to do the same thing for the remaining records. So I need to have some database, because later on we are going to do some operations on this. So I need to change this. Flight underscore WP is the name of my database. Okay, and now flight information is destination. Destination is the key, and value of the key is Mumbai. Again press enter. Again, so we put source, destination. Now I am going to put arrival time and departure time. So first of all, arrival time, but do not forget to change this particular table name. Why am I changing the table name again and again? Because flight table is already there in my table. That's why I'm not creating the same table again. That's why I'm giving another. Okay, so flight schedule is another column family. AT is nothing but arrival time, and as we will be doing some operations numerical data, so I will just try to delete this AM and just keep it as a number. So 10:25 AM is the arrival time. Okay, so source, destination, and arrival time I have put. Now I am going to put departure time. So I am simply trying to just put the data inside that flight table, flight underscore WPU. Okay, so that's why I told you that even if you refer the document later on, you will get it whatever I am trying to do here. Definitely you try to you will understand. So departure time is 11:25, arrival time is 10:25, and the last thing I am going to add here is delay. What is the delay? So for example, I will try to put the delay as 5 minutes, right? So again, I want everything as number in last field. So, and this flight underscore WPU is the name of my table. So first record is actually inserted inside the table in column oriented fashion. Now what I want to do? Now we want to insert some more records. As I told you that there will be 4 row IDs, 1, 2, 3, 4. We just inserted the records of first row ID. So I will try to insert the remaining records. So it is just that we need to run this put command again and again. So because data gap you will not be able to do anything. So put flight WPU. Now you can see the row ID is 2. That means in row ID 2 for source, again source is Pune. So I am just going to press enter. Okay. So for row ID 2, first record we have inserted. For row ID 2 destination, I am going to insert as Kolkata now. Source is Pune and destination is Kolkata. Okay. So here again, my table name is WPU. Destination is Kolkata. And after that, arrival time and departure time and delay. So I'm going to put it inside the table. Again, do not forget to change the name of the table, because otherwise you will not be able to create the table the same name. And in case of arrival time, as I told you, just keep it as a numerical value, because we will be calculating the average arrival time, average delay, average arrival time now. Okay. And here departure time for the second row I am putting. So what am I doing here? I am just trying to create the data, because we need to solve some questions based on this data. So this is the departure time, and the last thing in the second record is going to be delay. So delay in minutes. So see, that's why I have given all these things in document, and all the things are given in stepwise manner. So maybe you might need to spend some time later on. Okay, so you need to have that particular document with you. So I have actually created the table with 1 record and 2 record, 1 and 2 as a record ID, and I need to insert remaining data. So third and fourth row ID also I need to insert. Okay, so just wait for 5 minutes. I will do it. So flight underscore WPU. Source is Mumbai here for third row ID, and destination is Pune for third row ID. Okay. So here flight underscore WP and destination is Pune, and again arrival time and departure time for the third record. So I'll do it as fast as possible. So flight underscore WPU. Arrival time is 12:30 p.m. So I'll just remove this text. Do not want that text. So you will understand why we do not want that text, because we will be doing some mathematical operations on that. That's all. Again, my table name, I need to change. It should be WPU, and departure time is 12:45 p.m. and the last thing is delay. Delay I need to put. Delay is of 1 minute here. Okay. So we have different fields: arrival time, departure time, delay, source, and destination, because this is the data for flight information. Okay, and this MI is deleted. So that, and the last record now for the fourth row ID, I am just trying to insert, and that will be all. We will be ready with our data. So again, my table name is flight underscore WPU. Source is Mumbai. Destination is Delhi. So this is the command to create the table, to insert the data into the table in case of HBase. Okay. So here flight WPU is the table name, and then the destination, and now arrival time, departure time, and delay. So let me just go and try to insert the remaining 3 fields. So here it is arrival time. Arrival time is PM. We do not want. Even if you keep it, no problem. But maybe there should not be a confusion later on. That's why I'm just trying to do it right now, because at the end of the this particular PDF there will be some questions in which you do addition and take the average and all those things. Okay. So now arrival time, after arrival time I'm going to insert departure time as 2:45, and WPU is table name, and the last thing is delay. And now we will try to see how the data actually looks like in HBase. So this is the table name, and yeah, okay. So that is the table. which we have created and we inserted the data inside that table. Now, if I want to see all the records from that table, so I can type scan and name of the table. So name of the table is flight. It should be written in single quote. So name of the table is flight underscore WPU. Okay, and press enter. Now see, you will be able to see the data in this manner. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the row IDs. See, for the first row ID, you can check. For the first row ID, what do we have? Flight information, destination. What is the value of destination? Mumbai. For the first row ID, flight information, source. What is the value of source? Pune. For the first row ID, flight schedule, arrival time. What is the value of arrival time? 10.25. And then what? You have delay. What is the value of delay? 5 minutes. So this is for the first row ID. Similarly for second row ID, third row ID, and so on. This is how HBase actually stores the data. Okay. So let me show you. All these things you'll be able to see in this manner in HBase. 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 4, 4, 4, 4. So this is how HBase actually stores the data in the database. It's a column-oriented database. This is how data looks like. But yes, you can apply SQL-like queries with the help of Hive on HBase. So this is what the data is. Okay, so we have actually run scan command. Scan command is like select star from that particular table. If you are aware about SQL, scan is similar to that. So after that, suppose if I want to alter, if I want to add new field in the table, so you have a command called as alter table name. What is the table name in our case? Table name is flight underscore WPU, and I want to add this particular column, you can say. So revenue I want to add. So inside HBase table, I have added revenue. It is going to show you something like this. 1 out of 1 regions are updated. Okay. Now, what I want to do is I want to put some value inside that particular new column. Okay. So how to do that? So what you can do is you can use put command once again. Right. Use put command and give the column name wherever you want to put the value. So here I am putting flight underscore inside flight underscore WPU table is the 4th row ID in the revenue field. The revenue field is the field which we added just now. And in revenue field we have this particular key RS. RS is nothing but rupees, for example. And value of the rupees is 45,000. Just press it. And now if you go and if you try to scan that particular table, FLIGHT flight underscore WPU, you will be able to see revenue field also. See, earlier there was no revenue field. Now there will be revenue field with 45,000 as the value. Now see, there is a revenue field and value of the revenue field is 45,000. So this is how you can alter the table in HBase. Okay. After that, if I want to delete all the records, see, people, let me repeat once again. For understanding all these things, you require some patience. You need to repeat all these things. Even if you people are not able to do all these things along with me, don't worry. Try to follow all the things from the document. At least try to understand whatever is going on right now. Because we need to complete all these things in only 1 hour. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes you will get extra. Right? That's why we have some time restriction also. So just try to understand. Generally what happens is students, they lose hope. They feel that it's really very hard. It's not at all hard, but it's very, very important. If you try to understand, if you try to concentrate, if you have some patience, definitely you'll be able to do some projects also. That's why I'm trying to repeat it again and again that you people just try to show some patience, okay, and you'll be able to understand each and everything whatever I'm doing here. I also know that if you are doing it first time, there is some difficulty to understand, but it is not like something very difficult. It's easy. Just try to have some patience, try to spend some time after this session. Definitely you will understand, and try to come up with some questions later. Okay. So next command is I want to delete that particular column which I have added. So again, what you can do is you can use alter command. So what is the syntax? Alter table name. So in my case, the table name is flight underscore WPU. So alter table name. name of the field is revenue, and method is delete. That means I want to delete that particular revenue field. So what I can do is I can run this particular command. And now after this one, if I try to do scan flight underscore WPU, I will not be able to see revenue field. See, here there is no revenue field. Earlier it was there. So that is the command to delete some field, whatever the field you want to delete, that's how you can delete it. Okay. After that, let me move forward and let me show you how to drop a table itself. Suppose if you are creating a table with create command. Suppose I am how to create a table. So to create a table in HBase, the command create. So suppose name of the table is table underscore WPU, comma. You need to give column family name also. Suppose CF is the column family I give, and enter. So this is the table I have created, right? So if you just list, you will see that there will be a table name called as table underscore WPU. This is the table which is created, table underscore WPU, right? But what we want now, we want to delete this particular table. We want to drop this table. So if I try to do like this, drop, and name of the table is table underscore WPU. If I try to drop it, it is not going to allow me, because the method to drop the table in case of HBase is that first of all you need to disable the table and then only you can drop it. See, it is going to show me that disable it first. So what I have done, I tried to create a table in HBase and I am trying to drop it before disabling it. So it's not possible. So always remember, in case of HBase, first of all, whenever you want to drop a table, first of all you need to disable it. So that's what I am going to do now. So disable table underscore WPU and enter. Now after this you can go and you can drop it. So drop table underscore WPU. Now it will be dropped. So if I go and if I try to check with the help of this command, now I will not be able to see table underscore WPU. There is no table underscore WPU. Okay, so this is how you can drop it. So remember, in case of HBase, first of all you need to disable the table and then only you can drop it. So let's move forward. This is how you can drop it. Okay. Now let me move forward and try to show you remaining things related to HBase and Hive. So that was about deleting the table and deleting the column and dropping the table. Now suppose I want to have a particular record from the flight table. In flight table you have different records, right? Now from the flight table, what I want is I want the records only from first row ID. So from my flight underscore WPU table, I want all the records from first row ID. So this is the command. Get is the command. Get table name and whatever the row ID you want, that row ID number. So see, you'll be able to see all the records from first row ID only. So source is Pune, destination is Mumbai. This is arrival time, right? Departure time and delay. So, but this is for what? This is for only first row ID. We have 4 row ID. Why are we able to see only for first row ID? Because we have given only one here. That's the reason. Okay. Next thing, if you want to read the data from a particular column from HBase table, that's also possible. So what you can do is, again, you can make use of get command and you can write down the name of the column from which you want to fetch the data. So get from which table you want, from this table I want. Get from flight underscore WPU, from the first record I want, but from which column? Flight information. And what I want from flight information? I want only source. So see, it is going to show you the value of the source as Pune. This is how you can actually write down the query in case of HBase if you want to get the data from the database, from table in HBase. Okay. Suppose if you want to read for a particular column from HBase table, so I want to read only from flight information column. I want to read everything from flight information. So what you can do is you can run this particular command. Get command again. My table name is flight underscore WPU. From the first row ID, I want everything from source. So again, same thing. That particular command is actually repeated here. So read data from multiple columns in HBase table. So if I want to read from multiple columns, so you need to provide the column names in the square brackets like this. Okay. So that's why I told you that you need to spend some time. And that's why I am not typing all these commands, because otherwise it would have taken a lot of time. So flight underscore WPU is the name of the table. One is the row ID and column. From which column I want? Flight information. And so what I want from flight information, I want source value and I want destination both. So that's why I have written this one. So see, here the source is Pune and destination is Mumbai. So we are able to see both of them. Okay. So this is how you can actually run the commands on HBase. Okay. So if you want to read for multiple columns in HBase table, this is what you can do. Now, suppose I want to scan particular record, particular value from all the row ID. So what I can do is I can write down scan, name of the table is flight underscore WPU and columns are flight information. Okay, this is the column and the value is source or the key is source. Now that means you are going to get source from each and every row ID. 1, 2, 3, 4. From each and every row ID, you are going to get the source. So in the first case, row is source is Pune, again Pune, then Mumbai, and then Mumbai. So our sources are Pune and Mumbai only for all the row IDs. Okay, so this is all about HBase. This is how you can deal with HBase, and you can create tables and you can have data inserted into a table. Now, let me show you this one. Creating an external Hive table to connect to the HBase for customer information table. That means what? That means if you have some data in HBase database, but you want to access that data with the help of SQL-like queries, what you can do is you can create an external table in Hive, which is going to access the data from the HBase table with the help of HiveQL query, which is similar to SQL. So what we want to understand now, how to create the external table into Hive, which is going to access the data from HBase. But data is actually stored where? Data is always stored onto Hadoop. Always remember that. So what to do for that, I will show you. So we are going to see how to load table with the data, how to insert new values and fill in the table and join the tables with Hive. This is what we are going to see now. So if you want to integrate HBase, Hive and Hadoop together, you need to follow all these steps. You need to add all these jar files. You need to download these jar files from the internet, and all the jar files are already given in your virtual machine. Okay. So you have to download all the jar files and you need to add all the jar files in the given folders. But in your case, this is already done. You don't have to do anything. We have already done it. That's why I will try to directly move to creating the external table. So how to create the external table using Hive? Okay, so this is the command. So now we are working on Hive. Earlier we were working on HBase. Now we are working on Hive. So those people who are familiar with SQL, now they will be able to understand the queries at least. Okay, what are these queries? They will be able to understand because they are similar to SQL queries. So create table command. So what am I going to do is I am going to create a table with this particular name, employee data. Okay, emp data 2. Now in this table, what I will be doing is I will be fetching the data from some text file. I will show you where that text file is and how it looks like. So let me first of all create an empty table onto Hive. So I want to work on Hive now. So I will open the terminal where my Hive is there. So I will just try to paste that query. So create table emp data 2 with these columns, employee name as a string data type and employee salary as integer data type. Okay. After this, once we have declared the column names and their data type, now we want that table to be created as row format and it is delimited, that is separated by comma, and it will be stored as a text file in some location. Okay, so what is that location? That location also is also given here. So that is the meaning of this particular command. That is what type of a table you want. So I want a table which is comma delimited. Okay, now what is the location of that table? So I want to give the location of the table as this one, this particular table. So that particular table on my machine will be stored on this location. So I will just try to change this particular location as /home/server/emp data 2 instead of this emp data 2, I will name it as emp data 2 underscore wp. Okay, because that table might have been already created in my case. So the same table name you need to give here emp data 2 underscore wp and press enter and give semicolon also and then press enter. So that table is now created. Okay. So it's an empty table now. We do not have anything in that table. Now what we want? We want to fetch some data from some text file and store it inside this particular table and put that particular data from the text file inside this table. So what is the text file name we have? So there is a text file which is named as empdb.txt. I will show you that text file. See, I will go to my home directory and the text file with the name empdb300.txt. So again, this data is also there in your case. So see, this is the text file I am going to use, and whatever the data in this text file, let me show you. This is the data. What I have employee name and their salary. These two values I have, and they are comma separated, right? CSV file. You people might be knowing about basic concept called as CSV, comma separated value. So the data of this text file I am going to fetch into that table emp data to underscore wpu table. I am going to fetch this particular data from this particular text file into that table. Let me show how. I will go to terminal and try to see Hive. So here we have the command how to load the data. So we are going to load the data from that particular text file into our table, which is an empty table. What is the name of our table? emp data to underscore wp. So I will just try to run this particular command. Load data. So load data local in path. Now where is this emp db300.txt file? This file is in /home/Saurabh. That's why this path is written. So I have given the path of the source file. Okay. Into table emp data to underscore wp because this is the name of our table. Okay. So what am I going to do? I am going to press enter, and now what's going to happen is whatever was the data in that particular file, now that data will be loaded into this table inside Hive. If I want to see that, I can go and I can run that particular command, that is select star from this particular table. So if I type select star from this particular table name emp data to underscore wp. Now see, all that data is fetched into this particular file. Okay, so this is how you can load the data into your Hive table. Okay, so we created a table in Hive now, and we have loaded the data into Hive table. So this type of a table which we created, this type of a table is called as managed table in case of Hive. Now we will try to create external table. What is the use of external table? Because of external table, what will happen? Suppose if you have data in HBase and you want to access that particular data from Hive, so you need to use something called as external table. That's why external table concept is very important. So see, what I will do is now I will try to create some table in HBase. First of all, in HBase, it will be empty table. But what we will do, the data from Hive table you can see from HBase table also. That's also possible. So what I am going to do is first of all I am going to create HBase table with this particular column. So I will have to go to the terminal where I have HBase. So here I am having HBase. So I am going to create a table with the name create employee Hive underscore wpu with some column family. So it's an empty table. And remember, we created it where? We created it in HBase. Okay. Now, after that, what am I going to do is I am going to create external table in Hive. So for that, I am going to run this command: create external table in Hive. So what is external table? I told you. External table is the table using which you can access the data from any other database. So create external table. To this table I will name it as hive underscore table underscore emp underscore wp. ID, name, and employee salary. These are the three fields we have. Okay. After this is the syntax. Now see, I already told you people that those people who are not aware about HBase, Hive, Hadoop, obviously you need to refer earlier videos. Whatever I have actually shown in my YouTube channel, I have shown everything. What is external table, how to integrate HBase, how to install HBase, how to install Hadoop, how to install Hive. All these things are already shown in on my YouTube channel. But I have been told that you people are aware about all these things. That's why I am discussing everything directly. That's why I am discussing all these analysis directly here, right? So I am expecting that you people are aware about at least the syntaxes of all these things. See, this is called as a connection string. You can say this particular string is actually used to connect HBase, Hive, and Hadoop together. org.apache.hadoop.hive.hbase.hbase storage handler. This is actually, again, if you people are not aware about this one, I will recommend that you please refer my video which is on my YouTube channel, or you refer any other thing, whatever you want to clear the basic concepts. Because I generally see people not having that much of patience, and they feel that it's very, very hard. And I'm repeating it again and again because that's what I generally see. And in your case, we are directly started with this commands. But for this, you need what? You need the basic knowledge of HBase and Hive. So just try to understand. Okay, if you people are lagging, first of all go there, try to understand what is that HBase, what is that Hive, and then go and try to refer all these documents, whatever I'm sharing. So once that is done, I'm going to integrate all of them together here. Okay, HBase Hive with SERDE properties. What is the SERDE property? SERDE property is called as serialization and deserialization. Serialization and deserialization is actually used to make the operations faster, right? From HBase to Hive, from Hive to HBase, and vice versa. Whenever there is an integration, we use SERDE properties. Okay, and this table properties HBase, and so we are just trying to connect the Hive table to the HBase table which we created. And what was the name of the HBase table? It was emp hive underscore wp. So what are we doing? We are just trying to connect this particular table to this particular table, right? And this particular table is actually already connected to the manage table which we have created in Hive. So what will happen because of this command? Because of this command, it's going to happen that if you have some data in HBase table, you can access it from Hive and vice versa. That's why we are actually trying to fire this. So in my case, it is running here as it is saying okay. Okay. So what I can do after this one, once this particular command is running, I can go and I can make use of that external command. I can make use of that external table to access the data. So see, what is manage table and what is external table, it is given. Manage table and external table in Hive. There are two types of tables in Hive. One is managed and another one is external. The difference is when you drop a table, if it is managed table, Hive deletes both data and metadata. So I hope you people understand what is metadata. Metadata is a data about data. So if there is a managed table you are creating and you are dropping that managed table, so when you drop a managed table, both data as well as metadata is going to be deleted. But if it's an external table, only metadata is going to be deleted and data is going to remain as it is. So after that, once we created the external table, now I am going to create one more table from Hive, which is called as employee DB new from one text file. What it is going to do is it is going to fetch the data from some text file which is already there. So create table employee DB new, and this particular table I will name it as employee DB new underscore WP. So what do we have in this? We have employee number, employee name, and employee salary. Row form delimited fields, and it is delimited by comma, right? So terminated by comma. So terminated means separated by comma. So So it is actually separated by comma. If I go here terminated, and it is terminated by comma and stored as a text file. So I am just trying to create one more table. It's a manage table in Hive. I hope at least you got an idea what is manage table and what is external. After that, whatever the table we created just now, in that table I am going to load the data with the help of this particular command that is called as load data. So which data I want to load? I want to load the data from this particular file, employee db new 300.txt. Now where is this file? In my case and in your case also, this file is in /home/Saurabh. Okay. Now that's why those people who are present for the earlier session, if you remember, I already told you that try to play with this virtual machine. Which files are stored at what location you should know. That's why I have already in the last week only I actually shared that particular virtual machine with you people. Okay. So what are we doing here? Employee db new, in this particular table, employee db new underscore WPU, which we created in the previous step. In this table, I am going to store the data from this particular text file, employee db new 300.txt. If I want to show you what is there in that file, employee db new 300.txt, I can open it and I can show you the data from that particular table. So see, this is the data in that text file. And just what am I doing is I am just trying to load the data from this particular text file into the Hive table. You can check Yogesh 4000, Sachin 5000, and all those things. So this particular data now you will be able to see loaded into that Hive table. Okay, with the help of this command. So I will just try to press enter. And now if I try to enter this command, select star from, what is the name of the table? The name of the table is empdb new underscore WPU. Right, this is the name of the table. So empdb new underscore WPU. In this particular table, actually, we have loaded the data from the text file. Now, see, you will be able to see the data in the text file. Okay. So, this is what we have done till now. So, we have data in Hive table. From the text file, we have the data loaded into the Hive table now. Okay, so that's what actually is shown here also. Now what are we doing? So whatever the data we have in that employee db new underscore WPU table, which is a managed table, from that table now I am going to put the data into my external table, because unless and until you do not have a data in external table, other tools cannot access the data. So my table name is this one. So what am I doing? I am just running a simple SQL command, insert into Hive table emp underscore WPU. So what is this? What is this table? This is my external table. So in this table, I am inserting the data from this particular empdb underscore WPU table. That means from managed table, I am just trying to insert the data into external table. Why into external table? Because unless and until the data is not an external table, third-party tools cannot access that particular data. That's the reason. That's why I'm just trying to put the data into external table, and it is going to run map and reduce, because data will be stored onto Hadoop. So you will see that map 0%, reduce 0%, and then map will be done first, and then reduction will be done. So again, those people who have practiced Hadoop earlier, they will understand it. Those who haven't yet touched Hadoop, those who haven't worked with Hadoop yet, those who haven't done any hands-on on Hadoop, definitely they will have to go and look out for the previous. So you can check it, map 0%, reduce 0%. So map and reduce is the process which is actually used by Hadoop. It is a part of Hadoop. So map will be 100% and then reduction is going to that. It will be going to work. It is going to work, right? So now you can see that it has taken 56 seconds. Now, if I want to go and if I want to check the data in external table also, I can go and I can check it. So I can run this particular command in my case. So I will go here and I will try to run that select star command on external table. In my case, the name of the table is WP. So select star from, this is nothing but external table. External table is very, very important. Okay, and external tables we create in Hive. So if I go here, now you will be able to see the same data, but in the external table. So what we have done in Hive is, in Hive we created the managed table. In that managed table, we inserted the data from the text file, and from that managed table, we inserted the data into external table, so that third party tools will be able to access the data. Okay. Now suppose I want to do some analysis. I want to display all the records where salary is greater than 40,000. So in our case, no employee is having salary greater than 40,000. So I will just make it as 4,000 instead of 40,000. So simple analysis with the help of SQL query. I need to change the name of the table. It is underscore WPU. Now see, these are the employees. Sachin is having greater than 4,000, Rahul and Smith. So out of all these employees, these three are the only employees who is having salary greater than 4,000. So we have actually applied a query onto Hive table, which is stored on Hive with the help of SQL like query. Okay, so a simple analysis we have done. After this, what? Now, as I told you that if you want to see the same data which we have in Hive, but if you want to see that particular data into HBase, you can go to HBase and you can see now. So in HBase, if you remember, earlier we created something called as this one, employee Hive. So what I will do is, I will just try to run this particular command, scan emp Hive underscore WPU. But this emp Hive is actually connected to what? It is connected to that particular external table which we created in Hive, right? Even though I am in HBase, see, even though I am on HBase, but I will be able to see the data which is in Hive. It is created with the help of Hive, because in both the cases data is actually stored on Hadoop. So I will just try to show here. Now see, same data which was stored in tabular manner in Hive, now it is stored in this manner in HBase. See, you can check it. Employee salary is 4,000. Employee name is here. Here it is Yogesh, right? Salary is 5,000 or 1,500, whatever it is. Again, employee name you can check. Employee name is Gautam. Employee name is Sachin. So this S is here actually. That's it. Okay. So same data you are able to see in HBase now. So because integration is already done, we have created table in such a manner that we should be able to access the data from HBase and Hive, the data of HBase from Hive and vice versa. Okay. This is how we can actually move forward. Okay, now let me go and try to show you the remaining points here. Let me go to the PDF now. So that's what we have seen in Hive. That's what we have done, simple analysis. Okay, first of all, let me just ask, do we have time? Devish, if you are there, do we have time? Otherwise, I will just try to leave it to you people, because Madam has told me that we have only 1 hour. Devish, if you are there, do we have time?
Sir, we have some more time in case you wish to continue. Like we can have for some more time, sir. You can just complete that part, no issues, sir.
No problem. So I will move forward and I will try to move to the next task. Now I will try to do this particular thing. Creating external table in Hive referring to HBase. And in our case, if you people remember, we created a table called as flight table in HBase, right? So what are we going to do now is, we are going to create an external table with in Hive. We are going to create an external table in Hive, and which is going to refer to the table in HBase, right? So for that, you need to run this highlighted command. So when you people will try to run all these things, just remember that you can run all these commands which are highlighted here. Okay, so this is the command to create a external Hive table. Okay, I will go here and I will try to do it fast. So what is the name of the external table here? So create external table HBase underscore flight underscore new. For our understanding, I will name it as WPU, because that particular table also, it's already there in my case, right? So see, what am I doing is, if you people remember in HBase what I have done, I have created a table with flight number, flight source, destination, arrival time, departure time. That's what I am doing, but in Hive. Earlier I had done it in HBase. Now I am doing it in Hive. And see, when you people will also try to copy this and paste it, try to do it the same way whatever I am doing, because what happens is, if you try to copy the whole comma at once, the enter is also going to copy. The new line is also new line character is also going to be copied. And if it is copied, then it's going to directly run the command, and it might give some error. That's why I am doing it like this, stepwise manner. Okay. Again, all those words you need to use stored by. This particular string is going to connect all the tables together, is stored by, and that string, whatever you are able to see, org.apache.hadoop, this is going to help to connect Hadoop and HBase and Hive together. Okay, so or you can say Hive and HBase tables together. After that, with Serday properties, that is serialization and deserialization, which is actually used to run the commands faster, right? It's like multiplexing and demultiplexing, if you people are aware about those things. And this is the mapping of the tables in HBase and Hive with the help of some key and values. And the table properties, the name of the table I am going to provide here. So in our case, the name of the table was flight underscore WQ. So I just need to change the name of the table. Okay. So in my case, the name of the table was flight underscore WQ. What is this table? This is the table which we created in case of HBase. Now I am trying to create an external table in case of Hive, using which I am going to access the data of that table. Let me just press enter. This is created. And now if I want to access, first of all, let me show you whether it is created or not with the help of show tables command. Show tables, and in our case, the name of the table is this one, HBase underscore flight underscore new underscore WQ. So I just need to check whether that table is created or not. So you can check it, HBase underscore flight underscore new underscore WQ. So this is the table which is actually referring to the table which we created in HBase. Right? So now we have such a table in Hive which is actually referring to table in HBase. So what am I going to do is I am going to fire a SQL-like query on that table, and I will try to see the data from the HBase. See, HBase don't understand SQL-like query. Hive understand SQL-like query. But now you can fire SQL-like queries on HBase also because we have an external table. Now you will be able to see the same data which we have seen in HBase with the help of Hive. Now see, same data but in tabular manner. First record, Pune, Mumbai, arrival time, departure time, delay. Pune, Kolkata, arrival time, departure time, delay, and so on. Right? Same data which we have seen in HBase, but in column oriented fashion. Now this is in Hive, but in row oriented fashion. That's the difference between them. Okay. Now, if you want to make an analysis like this, find the average departure delay per day. If you want to find out the average departure delay, so yes, you can run a SQL command on this. You can use some average, whatever you want, whatever the query is according to that. So I want to find out the sum of all the delay. So I can go and I need to change the name of the table. Flight underscore WQ is the name of our table. And if I enter it, so here the name of the column is FSCH underscore delay. Now see, if you people want to understand all these things, obviously you need to understand what is the data first. So for that, what's necessary? Spending some time on all these things is very necessary. Select sum of flight schedule underscore delay from HBase. So this is actually a column name, okay? FSCH underscore delay is the column name. So it is going to calculate the sum of the delay. So here it is going to run map and reduce. So that means what? Map and reduce is actually in Hadoop, right? So Hadoop is going to take care of processing. Hive is just to access the data. HBase is also to access the data, but HBase can store the data also. There is some default database in HBase which is available. So I will again repeat. If you want to go and if you try to understand what is HBase and Hive in detail, please try and refer the videos on my YouTube channel or from anywhere, whatever you want. But yes, that's necessary. Okay. Now here you can see it is done. So the sum of delay is 18. That is the answer. Suppose as per the question they ask us to find out the average. So what I can do is I can go and I can directly find out the average. So here I will get the average delay. See, all the students try to understand. Okay, spending time is very necessary. If you really want to understand all these concepts, you need to spend some time. I'm again and again repeating. So I am trying to find out the average here. Again, it is going to do map and reduction. So once it is done, it's going to show me success and it is going to show me the average time. So average delay is 4.5 seconds or minutes, whatever it is, according to or whatever unit we have given, 4.5. Okay. Now the last thing which is remaining is join. So how to join the table? So this is what we have seen. Now how to join the table? So before that, I have also shown you how to create the index on the table. So if you want to create the index, you can use all these commands. Okay, and you can create the index. So suppose if I want to show you all these commands, so I will have to run it line by line. So in Hive only I am going to run it. So go here and try to just run it. So create index name, and suppose the name of the index is like this. Okay, this is the name of the index. It should be unique. Name of the index should be unique. That's why I have given another name. On which table I want to create? So I want to create it on same table which we have just now created. Okay. So this table flight hbase underscore flight underscore new underscore wp. On this table I want to create the index, and for this particular field, for this particular column. This is going to help me to integrate integrate all those tables together, to reference the tables in HBase and vice versa, and I want to rebuild. So that it should be used again and again. At rebuild, because that will make sure that you can make use of index anywhere. So index are what? Index are used in databases to make the search faster, right? So that's how you can create the index. And if you want to see the index on a particular table name, you just need to use show command. Show index on table name. So in our case, the table name is this one, and it is going to show you all the details about the index. So in my case, the index name was this one, right? So this is how you can create the index and you can get the information about the index. Now the last thing is join. How to join the two tables? So for that, what are we going to need is, we are going to create a table in Hive. We are going to create two tables. First of all, I am going to create this particular table with the name emp information underscore wp. Again, to insert this insert some data in this table, I am going to need some text file. Okay, so by again this particular table I want to create as a comma separated table. Okay, terminated by comma. So I am creating a table. I have created a table with this particular name emp info underscore wp, but there is nothing in that table. So that's what I am going to do is, I am going to load some data in that table from some text file. How? Again, I need to pass the location of the text. So in my case, the location is /home/Saurav. In your case also it is same. And the name of the file is empinfo300.txt. Into which table? empinfo underscore wp. Just now we have created. And if I want to show you what is there in this table, I can go to my working directory. I can go to my home directory and I can show you empinfo300.txt. In this particular file, this is the data. Okay. So here I can go and I can press enter, and it is going to load everything in that particular table. So if I want to show you the data from that particular table now, so I will run select star from command. So select star from this particular table, and you will be able to see that that data is from that particular text file is loaded into this particular table. Now, as we want to see join, as we want to understand, as we want to join two tables, so I have created one table and I am going to create one more table. One more table we have created actually. This particular emp info we have already created. Now I am going to join this particular table with the table which we created earlier. That is empdb new underscore wp. Right. So I will show you the data from that table also. From the name of the table is empdb new 300 underscore wp. Let me check whether this was the name. Okay, I think the name is empdb new underscore wp. Yeah. So what are we going to do now? we are going to join these two tables, this one and this one. We are going to join them. So for that, the last command is given here for joining the tables. So that command is this one. On employee number column, I am going to join it. Okay. And here, this one is employee number. So just try to observe which are the column names which we have given in both the tables, and accordingly only I am trying to give the names here. So it's nothing different if you are aware about SQL. So empdb new underscore wq is the name of the table. I am going to join it with emp info underscore wq, and I will be able to see the output. So here it is going to do what? It is going to do map and reduction, and it is going to join both the tables. This is how you can join tables in Hive. So just try to revise this particular document. You already have this particular document. After this, if you have any difficulty, please try to ask. Again, it all depends on individual's interests, or what time, how much of time you actually try to put to understand all these things. Because I already told you, patience is the most important thing here. Okay, and maybe you need to repeat the same thing again and again, right? So see, this is my output. Finally, I got the output after joining these tables, both the tables. I got this particular output. So I actually displayed all the columns from both the tables. That's why I'm able to see these two columns 2 times. Because if you see my query, you will understand. Okay. So this is all about joining. This is all about getting some analysis from HBase, Hive, and Hadoop. Right. Obviously, it's not the end. There are a lot of things to study. You can even work on projects also. So yeah, but this is just an overview, you can say, how to work on HBase, Hive, and Hadoop. So from my side, I am done. If you have any questions, anyone, you can ask. Madam, are you there? Anyone? Yes, Devesh, Saili.
Yes, thank you, sir. So on behalf of all the participants here, I would like to thank Mr. Yogesh Muramkar, sir. In this workshop, we got to learn the latest skills, that is, practical implementation of Hadoop for big data analytics, HBase, and Hive, right from the basics, such as creating and altering database tables, creating external Hive tables to connect to the HBase. And as Sir said, we need to learn and implement it with patience even if we face any issues. These skills are needed for us in the current industry, and I'm sure today's session will help us a long way. We're enlightened with your knowledge and presence. Thank you, sir, for being with us and guiding us. On this note, we move to the end of today's session. Thank you, everyone, for actively participating in the workshop.
Yeah, just a minute. I think Manish has one question. Manish is asking, what does disabling a table means? So Manish, it means that it is like whenever you want to drop something, right? Whenever you want to drop a table, you need permission. So it's like that. That means once it is disabled, then only you can drop it. So in case of this HBase Hive Hadoop framework, you can say that disabling is like, in case of HBase, actually we have seen that it's like giving the permissions, right? So disabling is like giving the permissions, because that is a must. That's a rule in case of HBase. I hope it answers your question, Manish. Just let me know. Yes. Okay. Yes. Anyone, if anyone is having any doubt, you can ask in the chat box. And as I told you, you need to spend some time. I also understand if you are learning it first time, definitely you need to spend some time. It's not like I'm expecting that everyone should understand only in one shot. It's not like that. So definitely you spend some time, and later on also if you have some difficulty, you can ask. So I think there is no question from anyone else right now, madam. So should we stop, madam? Okay, I think. Yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, thank you all of you. Thank you.